Believe it or not, this hoof is not the problem that we are treating. I believe she's got a much more substantial problem on this back right foot, because she's not even showing lameness on this left one, meaning that the back right foot must be incredibly painful. This is the Hoof GP. So Kev does a fantastically important job. He spots the lame cows coming into the crush so that I know which foot the cow is lame on. And he told me the back right foot on this cow was what was causing her all of her pain. So when I picked up the back left, and this is what I trimmed away, you can imagine how bad the back right must be. She's not showing any lameness on this back left foot because she's using it, because that, right now, believe it or not, is her good foot. This is a sole ulcer and it's trimmed out really, really nicely. This block will take all of the weight away from this. So although she wasn't showing any pain before, she definitely would have been in pain. And that block now will be able to take all of her weight so that hopefully we can attack this back right foot and do what we can to fix that. Right, without further ado, let's see what's hiding underneath all of those loose layers of hoof horn. So if we look from the side on, you can see this hoof is massively oversized to this hoof. This is a sleeves rolled up kind of job. So as I'm trimming away, obviously she starts to pull there. You saw me just hesitate a little second just to get her to compose herself. Obviously this foot is extremely sore for some reason. So just touching it and putting the force through it that I am is going to aggravate it and make her feel even more uncomfortable. Right now it's not actually looking as bad as I thought it would straight away. I thought we might cut straight into this and there'd be a massive problem that was very obvious. Where this hole here, actually I don't think this is a major part of the problem, which might seem a bit strange when it's so deep in there. I might be wrong though, of course. I'm just howking it out, as we say here in Scotland, to see if I can see what is at the bottom of it. It does go in really deep though, look at that. But I don't think there's an issue there. Right, keep going. I'm just gonna work away up here. I think this entire sole will come away actually. Just need a little patience. As Gary Barlow once said, have a little patience. Oh, look. More layers appearing and a bit of moisture or fluid starting to come through there. I'm just almost holding my breath as I trim a cow's foot like this, because I can't be sure what is underneath. Clearly I know there's an issue, but don't know how deep in that issue is. Look, as I pull here, the top half of her foot is starting to come away, look. If I pull here, this part here is moving, look. It's all full of dirt and debris, and all of this will need to come away because it's the perfect trap, obviously, for muck and manure to get stuck up in there and work its way even more deeply. I kind of went more, didn't I? But work its way even more deeply into the heart of this cow's foot. You wouldn't have known there was so much muck up in here, would you? It's literally full of the stuff. Oh, we're starting to find the problem here now. If we look in there, it's very hard to see, but there's a slight change in coloration. That is bodily fluid. It's not muck anymore. Obviously this is muck, but here is bodily fluid. Give it a good wash out so we can see what it is we're actually doing and see the extent of this problem. Oh, that's much better. I can actually, the dog can see the rabbit now. So now that I can see what I'm doing a bit better, I'm going to pick the grinder up and do what I can to reduce the entire size of this claw. And while I've got the grinder in my hand, I'm going to prepare that inner claw ready for a block. As I start to use the grinder here, I need to reduce the size of the affected claw. and I'm taking the toe area down to do that. I don't want any weight on this outside claw if I can help it. But also while I've got the grinder in my hand, I'm reducing the size of that inside claw. That's not intentional. All I'm trying to do is flatten it off and get the perfect surface for the block to adhere to. Kevin is applying that block, but I need to make sure I prepare it perfectly for him. Otherwise, it's got almost no chance of sticking permanently. And with that block in place, it's time to get back to the trimming. This is where you really need to concentrate. Take little slithers away from this hoof horn, but we're using a huge amount of force to do that. I'd love to know, actually, I should get a little pair of fish scales or something, shouldn't I, to understand how much force we're actually using to remove this hoof horn. I find weird stuff like that quite interesting. I would guess sort of 40 pounds of force, probably 45, something like that. Probably more sometimes. Definitely put all of our weight into it. Mind you, these days I suppose all of my weight is probably substantially more than 40 pounds. I need to take this sidewall right out of here. Not that I want to, but I need to make sure there's no cavity left behind. If I was to leave that like that right now, she would feel better because this block would be taking so much of the weight, but this will just compact with dirt and bacteria and start to make the problem even worse. So yes, in the short term I would have made it better, but in the long term she's not going to heal properly, because look, this actually extends even higher up into the foot than you probably thought. Clearly see the separated wall horn here from the sole horn. That bit I've just removed there, and that's why it's so hard. We're nearly there though, we're definitely getting there. It looks a lot better than it did a few seconds ago, a few moments ago. What has 4 letters, sometimes is 9, and never has 5. What has 4 letters, sometimes is 9, and never has 5. There's actually some dermatitis on here, so we need to get it as clean as we possibly can before we treat it, so that we're not treating dirt. And it's actually the dermatitis that our products are in contact with. So that is called white line disease, or a white line defect, or white line separation. Any of the 3 terms will do, but it's complicated because it's been complicated by that digital dermatitis, meaning that if we don't heal the dermatitis, then the hoof horn has got 0 chance whatsoever of healing, because that dermatitis is destructing the new hoof horn. And as Kevin wraps that foot, I'm spraying this foot with iodine. This problem isn't affected by digital dermatitis, so while the iodine does its job dehydrating the outer layers of hoof horn over here, the wrap salicylic acid and Repoderma will do its thing on the back right foot, and this cow should be far more comfortable in a couple of days' time. So there you have it. This cow was not showing signs of lameness on her back left foot, and sometimes the temptation is only to trim the lame foot. In this case, the back right foot, because that is the one she was showing the most pain on before she came into the crush. This is the perfect example of why you at least lift all 4 feet on every single cow that you ever trim or look at. You just never know what's going to be thrown up on a different foot. Just imagine how sore she must have been on the back right foot to be holding it up in the air and showing no signs of lameness on the back left foot. You've been watching The Hoof GP.